Hi everyone, this is Terry at terryscraftroom.com. Today we're going to make these gorgeous little paper ornaments, or baubles, or whatever you want to call them. So many of you have probably seen some of my videos that have my little kitten in the videos. And so when I put up my Christmas tree, on the bottom layer of my Christmas tree, I always have non-breakable ornaments so that she can play with them. I have actually 4 cats in my house, and this year I have a 5th cat because my daughter is home for Christmas and she brought her cat home. And so we have 2 cats that are 6 months old and then 3 that are older. So I always put up non-breakable ornaments down below so that they're hanging so that the cats can bat them and play with them. And if they drop off on the tree onto the ground, then I don't have to worry about my nice breakable ornaments getting broken. So the cats have been absolutely having a ball with these. They'll pick them up by the string. But anyway, they're so easy. I'm going to show you how to make them. Let's get started. Set these aside. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a template. And what I need is the backing sheet from the DSP for my template. You can make it out of regular cardstock, but the backing sheet is just a little bit more stronger, so that's what we're going to start with. And you need a piece that is 7 1/4 by 1 5/8. And we are going to score it at 7/8 of an inch. And it's a little bit tough to score, but you can get it. 2 7/8 of an inch. Now see how I'm going in and really digging that scoring tool in? That's how you're going to get it to keep from jumping the track there. 4 1/2 inches and 6 1/2 inches. Okay, so there's our template, and then we're going to take, and what you see is we have a small rectangle, and then a large rectangle, a small rectangle, a large rectangle, and a small rectangle. These 2 large rectangles here are what we're going to do next. And I've got a 2 1/2 inch circle punch. And what we're going to do is we are going to punch from score line to score line on both sides of the 2 large rectangles. Oops, that just hit me in the face. So this is what we end up with. And there, so you can see where we cut it away. A little bit easier. Okay. So I'm going to take my template, and what we need for the actual ornament itself is we need 3 pieces of designer series paper, and these are 7 3/4 by 1 5/8. And yes, I know they're a little bit longer. What we're going to do is we're going to set our template, and we're going to line it up with, it's the same width, but we're going to line it up with one end, just like that. So we have a 1/2 inch hanging over up here, and that's okay. I'll show you what we're going to do with that. Now what we're going to take is our score tool here, and we're going to score these semicircles here on all 4 sides, and then let's score this end one too. Okay, and then we'll do it the same again. Score the semicircles. And I already did the third one. There. Now the idea for this came from Najeza Creates, and I think I'm saying her name correctly, I hope. But mine is done a little bit differently. She did all her scoring on her DSP, and I found that that made it a little bit hard to do the last step. And this makes it a little easier because we're not scoring our DSP and the DSP is not wanting to bend. So now the next step is, now I did that already on this third piece, so you'll need to go ahead and do that on the third piece, is to, that little 1/2 inch overhang is where we're going to put our tear and tape or strong adhesive. Okay, things out of the way here. And then what we're going to do is where we did that semicircle, we're just going to bend that in. And I'll speed this up so that you don't have to watch the whole thing. There we go. Now, before we actually start assembling and putting the ornament together, we need to make the hole for our ribbon. And I actually make it a reinforced hole. So I'm going to take a piece of scrap from my backing, and I'm going to take my crocodile here and cut a hole in it, and then I'm taking a 3/8 inch hole punch. And I know some of these things that I'm using are retired, but the reason you want to start your hole punch now is if you actually made it into a circle and then got your hole punch, you would probably catch the other side. Catch both sides with your crocodile. You don't want to do that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of a liquid adhesive around this hole reinforcer. And this is the back side of my designer paper. I'm going to have this side facing out. And so I just put some the reinforcer on the back side. Now I have a piece of ribbon that is about 12 inches long, and I'm going to fold it into a loop, fold it into in half, and then I'm going to tie a knot on the end. And then, just so I don't have any fraying. There we go. And then I'm just going to feed this from the back. Feed this through. And there's our hanger for our ornament. Now, so we have these like this. It's easier now to straighten them out. And then we're going to fold this into, not fold, but roll this into a circle. Take our adhesive off. And roll this into a tube. If you have any adhesive hanging over, just fold it onto itself. And you're going to overlap right up to that score line, that one score line that we made. And so here's our seam. There's our, right, our ribbon. Okay, so the next one, well, let's pick up our next piece. Okay, flatten these out, these semicircles, roll it again. Whoops. Get into our tube. Okay, now here's my seam. I'm going to place it inside the other tube with the seam facing up. So my seam is underneath my ribbon right now. It's right here, going this way. And I still have this other seam. So I'm right here. Now my third piece, I'm going to flatten it back out. I'm going to leave the strip of adhesive on, and here is my seam that still needs to be covered. So I am going to, I have to go in a direction I haven't gone yet, so that would be this way. So it's going to feed inside that second tube like that, and then this tail is going to go around and feed inside that other end of that second tube, like so. Okay, and then we're going to take the adhesive off. And we're going to connect and form our tube. But this is the last step where we didn't want to have any score lines, because what we need to do is we need to hide this seam. So I'm going to very gently try to coax my paper to turn. And it doesn't, it's not real friendly even now, especially once you get it started, it'll go, but sometimes it takes a little coaxing to get it started. There we go. You notice you just go a little bit at a time, and see my seam is already over here where it started here, and I'm trying to get it into the middle here. Now that it's started, it's going a lot easier. And the other thing you're looking at is your semicircles. So my semicircles are where I want them. There we go. So now the last step is just to bend in all those semicircles. There's a couple here. And there we go. All done. Now with your template, you could make many of these in no time flat, because you're just taking your score tool and scoring one after another. So I hope you've enjoyed today's project, and I hope to see you soon. Check out all the instructions for this project are going to be over at terryscraftroom.com. While you're over there, sign up for my mailing list. I send out newsletters once a week, and right now we're on the last couple weeks of my 12 weeks of Christmas. It's projects you won't see anywhere else, just in my newsletter. Have a wonderful day, and bye everybody.